The show You hit Netflix late last year and took the platform by storm. It had many people guessing what Joe was going to do next in his mission to acquire Beck as a lover and live happily ever after. Those of you who have watched the show will know that that didn't necessarily happen. However, it has been announced that Netflix have confirmed that a season 2 of the show is in the works. So what do we know about season 2 of the show You? Let's find out. Before I go ahead, make sure you go over to my Twitter @BrainPilot_ and tweet me what show or movie you would like me to review next. So without further ado, I'm BrainPilot and here is You Season 2, What We Know. First of all, the latest news is that Netflix has acquired the show and they will be in control of creating and distributing the psychological thriller TV series. Lifetime stated that the show didn't really work with their business model, which in turn has allowed Netflix to sweep in and nab the show. As well, a recent announcement was that the writer of the show has already started writing a 3rd season, before the 2nd season has even been aired. And finally, Netflix released figures stating that You has been watched by over 40 million accounts in the first month, whereas when the show was being aired on Lifetime, it was averaging around 600,000 viewers an episode. So I can see why Netflix have decided to renew the series. The release date. With the release date of You hitting Netflix on Boxing Day in 2018, the show is set to go into production later on this year. This would hint towards an autumn release of the show on Netflix. This will be different to its weekly release like it had on Lifetime. However, it's uncertain if it will be a global release or there will be a rollout. I'd gather that due to the success, it will be a global release. As well, my guess would also be that there's going to be 10 episodes in Season 2 just as there was in the first. The cast. Obviously, the main character that we follow, Joe, who is played by Penn, will be returning as the stalker that you hate but also root for at the same time. But that is the only actor that has been confirmed. My guess is that Candice will be returning to the show, as it looks as though the writers are going to touch on the story that involves this character. This would mean that we would most likely see a new cast to grace the screen, with Paco and his mother out of the picture, the therapist, Peach, and obviously Beck. I'd presume that there will most likely be a whole new cast involved. The story. What will actually happen in Season 2 of the show is something that's on a lot of people's minds. With Candice making a return, there is a high chance that the story will be heavily revolved around Joe's past and his relationship with her. As well, Peach's parents have obviously hired people to investigate into her murder, so that might end up coming back to haunt Joe. And also, all of the previous murders might do as well. The 2nd season may be based off of the 2nd novel titled Hidden Bodies by the same author. This is the sequel to the 1st book, which is what You was adapted from. As well, towards the end of the 1st season, we found out about Joe's traumatic childhood, and as well how the person who looked after him treated him in a way that was most probably influenced the way that he acts in the series now. So I'm sure the writers will elaborate on Joe's childhood a lot more. It will be interesting to see whether or not they decide to go down the route of following the novel or branching out completely. One final element of the story that we know is that Joe, the New Yorker, will most likely be leaving New York and heading to LA. This could be to find love, or to even escape the authorities who may end up being after him. For now, that is all that is known about Season 2 of the Netflix show You. If you want to say in what videos I create on the channel, then on the community page I've started releasing polls. Head over there and have your say on what you see. As well, if you want to support the channel in a different way, then I've recently set up a Patreon, and by going over there, you can get your hands on some exclusive content that's only available on Patreon. Take a look and see what you think. What do you think of the show You? Are you looking forward to Season 2? Leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.